It's January 21st, 2023. It got a lot better this evening. A lot better. Um, a lot better. I went to my one job. Very few showed up this morning. Um, and then I went to go to my second job, and some of them started like driving by and stuff. So I start rambling and rambling because I know my car is bugged and they sold a login. I went and picked up my client and we went out to Lions. And we went in and ate at Texas Roadhouse. I was letting my phone, because they sold a login on my phone, on very low, played my tapes. Because that way it'll pick up in the cars. Or the people that have, they sold everything. My phone, everything. Okay? People come in and said, no one will say a word. Now that's funny, it was a drug lord doing it. Okay? Alright. We go to Walmart Alliance. There's hardly anybody in there that harasses me. I'm like, where'd they go? I heard two men talk. Nobody thinks it's funny. Some stripper had those drug dealers do this to her. And the guys that were going in the strip club how about harass her and do all those things to her. Some stripper did it. It was Michelle. Okay? Alright. Other people had walked by. They said not to say a word. That they had photoshopped everything. Well, they've been telling them that since 18. People even said around me, those two guys were the ones running around telling everybody all those lies on her. Okay, the ones that said they worked for the drug lord. The cops seen them. They look like my son Joshua. They had brown hair, brown beard. I think one would be clean shaven every once in a while, but the other one had beard. They look like Joshua. Okay? They said they were barking out the drug lord's orders. Okay? And they told everybody they photoshopped all the lies they made up on me in 18. And they drugged everything. Okay? They even told people that it was just the bet between those two drug lords. So they'd use me as a pawn so that nobody would tell on them. So that they could drug trade and human traffic in front of people. They told them that too in 18. It's 5 years later. They're slow around here. Purposely and willingly ignorant. Okay? We go to leave Walmart and some stupid drug bitch, she had been high, she's out there yelling. Will said she wasn't allowed to say nothing. You know, I'd already went through how Will told on me to that church before I called him back. Will also confessed he talked to the Vegas and the church people, made fun of me for some guy named Pete, stalking me and framing me and how I didn't know. And he also mentioned some kind of weird doctor, and I'm going to say I didn't know about him either. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Here he is, a pretend doctor and some drug cartel guy just walking into a federal building telling people he's a doctor. And that agent's such a doofus, he fell for all that, photoshopping and washing and date rape roofie confessions when I talk to sheriffs out of this area. And police, are your local police slow? Everything's digital. They can Photoshop from scenes to words, make new sentences out of sentences, and they can Photoshop a washing scene easy. And we already knew that a long time ago. And nobody's allowed in your home. Is your local police slow? And date rape, drugs, you're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours under somebody else's control. And they're so bad they could have drugged up the people and told them to take down the towers. And they would have done it. You guys got to think about, even 1960s, they had LSD. Hippies would take it, walk around talking, hallucinating. Roofies are a little bit like those, but different. You don't remember a thing and you're under somebody else's control. And all the police already know about him. And they were laughing that they could do that to anyone. I've never talked to anybody. I never had these people in my home. They even told people that they didn't even talk to me. They try to say they had truth serum, and then they laughed that it was roofies. And that's where I even told people the only thing I knew is I had bruises I couldn't explain, throwing up, heart racing, and a severe personal infection, and I thought that well water was eating my skin. And I thought maybe I had cancer, or the well water was so toxic that it's making me sick just to even shower in it. And if that idiot's beating on me, why am I not waking up, and where am I getting these marks when he's not home? And I'm just getting sick and throwing up and getting dizzy in time I pass. I didn't know what was happening, and to make fun of a human trafficking victim under drugs is sick and wrong. I didn't even know who Pete was for a year. I never had him. I never had Michelle in my home. I didn't know anything, but I had bruises, throwing up, heart racing, almost passing out in a severe personal infection. I kept going to the doctor. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have met other people that have been roofied, and they have lost whole nights. Another woman had been raped, didn't know what had happened to her. Her friend said she left willingly with him. She don't even remember meeting him. I even met one of my neighbors while he was still under the influence of a roofie, standing there talking, acting fine, but the craziest crap coming out of his mouth, and I could have told him to say anything, and he would have. See, that's where roofies are under someone else's control, and he was just at the point of being confused. I don't know how I got home. Been out sleep driving all night. Now, everybody turn this in. Like they said in Canton, it's not funny when any kind of police steal from victims. Will stole my money on the first day. He confessed he talked to the Vegas in his office. The church people made fun of me for some guy named Pete stalking me and framing me. How I didn't know. Dave hired Pete on his own. He's already been seen by the Norton Barberton police meeting with Dave and the church people up at Apostolic Church of Barberton, telling on me after the hotline before I even talked to him for him, enlisted informant. And made fun of me for some kind of weird doctor, and you're going to say you didn't know that either? And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And here, they had some guy impersonate some doctor from Altman Hospital, out selling people's information and sharing it. They could get shut down for that. They looked it up. He's not even a doctor. It's just a drug cartel guy. It's been that Fentanyl King and that Russian guy fighting over this area. Fentanyl King went to jail. They're human trafficking, and they're drug trading. And they're running scams on people. Like they said, it was that stripper. Because where do you find for a 60-year-old man working in a factory, find a pretty little 18-year-old girl you're working afternoons into midnights, 5 to 3 in the morning? Where do you find, when you're supposed to be at work at those times, find an 18-year-old pretty girl that wants to touch you? Or 18, a pretty young blonde girl. Strip club. Guys from the factory take some of their time off, and I'll go to a strip club. They found a stripper. That's where all the other strippers showed up and helped out. They said the guys that were going to strip clubs were helping harass me, and those drug dealers, she was having those drug dealers hurt me. Michelle. She was a stripper. Her and her sick dad and their drug friends cannot break in people's homes, drug them up, tell them to say something, and Photoshop shower scenes. I've never talked to them. I never had them in my home. My whole family defended me in 18 and 19 and 20. And it makes me sick when people think it's funny that a drug cartel that's serial killing people are running scams on them. And they call them idiot people for helping out. They call them idiots. They've made fun of them. They mocked them, how big of fools they are. They made fun of the FBI for falling for it. And I don't believe the FBI fell for it. I think Will just flat out, like they said, he stole her money on the first day. And fed me to him. And told the police to keep an eye on me. And they recorded my whole life for 5 years. They got a lot of bad guys off of it. And I suffered greatly. And they're acting like Will's the stupidest man on earth. That he'd fall for strangers' lies and people's fake crocodile tears, and that some man named Pete's stalking me and it's Dave's girlfriend's dad, the stripper's dad, and our drug friends drugging me up and photoshopping me and roofing me and telling me to say something stupid in a sextortion scheme and he'd fall for that, or some man impersonating a doctor and it's a drug cartel guy. They act like he's the biggest idiot in the world. Barney Fife underestimated it. Think about it. How could you fall for this? See, that's where everybody keeps saying, what was that agent thinking? How could he fall for any of this? How could he fall for somebody impersonating a doctor? HIPAA laws and right to privacy is attached to their license. They lose their license, go to jail. They ever try to say a word about her. Exactly. How could they fall for that minister's lies? He has such a low IQ. He's a minister, not a doctor. Exactly. And how could they fall even for Pete's scam? Think about it. Like they said, those people should have went to jail the first day for sextortion at the very least. What was he thinking? Easy mark. Poor little thing, been drugged, beaten, raped by the cartel, and even the doctor's not putting it together and they're treating all the symptoms? Perfect mark to steal from. Was that what he's thinking of? Or is it where they said they gave him a bribe? I'm going to upload this. I'm very tired. But yeah, at least today it got better. A lot better. They all realized it was that drug lord. A lot of people left. And the stripper having those drug lords do this to me, and the guys that were coming to the strip clubs. Michelle was a stripper. I'm going to upload this.